Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we have ourselves some Ninjago news to talk about surrounding Ninjago Legends Monstrosity. Now this news is a few days old. This is of course coming from Brickworld Chicago. I have not had time to cover this until now, so apologies for the delay, but we do have some concept art for Ninjago Legends Monstrosity that came out of Brickworld Chicago, and I figured we could just spend some time talking about it. But first, for a quick advertisement here, I have reviewed the entirety of Ninjago Legends Monstrosity the series, and if you would like to hear my thoughts on that, feel free to check out my full review. Link can be found down below in the description. But without further ado, let's get into it here and talk about some of this Ninjago Legends Monstrosity concept art, because originally, according to some of these concepts, Ninjago Legends Monstrosity was going to be very different. So starting off with this, we have what is essentially a first draft or an early design for the Guardian Dragon set. As you can see, there is a lot here that is similar, but also there are a lot of differences too. The most obvious difference to me is what's going on down beneath on the little stand here. Instead of having just one little shrine, we have a whole little house here on the bottom, or a little meditation area for Master Wu possibly. Also, this base is not the traditional black round base that Ninjago Legends is kind of known for now. I do like how the trees look here with the white branches almost suggesting maybe some type of Arctic environment. Looking very awesome, I must say. I do like the idea of there being a little hut. Kind of upset that the final set did not include something like that. Of course, Master Wu is here too. That appears to be the core Master Wu, maybe as a placeholder until the final design was made. The dragon itself, I will say, again, not a lot of difference, but there are some differences. First of all, for the head, it appears to use the Ryu head, except in green, and then a mouth is being built underneath. I don't love the look of that. I like what they more so did with the final dragon, because this piece is literally the entire head with the mouth. So it kind of has two mouths here, if that makes sense. Very bizarre. I don't know if I would ever be able to unsee that on the final product if they kept this head, so I'm glad they changed it. Otherwise, like I said, very similar design to the Guardian Dragon that we know and a lot of us love. Darker wings as well, interesting. But in terms of the rest of the dragon, same green, same kind of pose on the rock, similar little chest ornament there, similar crown too. A lot of similarities, but also just a few differences. The final design is infinitely better. Here we have a quick look at the monster for the Fire Knight mech set. A little bit of difference here. The color scheme is a little different, mainly using this azure blue, or is it more like a neon blue? I'm not sure what exactly that is in terms of blue. Also, that is the eye of the LEGO Ideas cat being used on the monster. It kind of works, strangely enough. Also, we have these white frogs everywhere too. Don't know what the deal is with those. And speaking of the Fire Knight mech, this intrigues me quite a bit. Now, this is pretty much the Fire Knight mech, but with a blue kind of palette change. So all of the red is pretty much blue now, which I'm not sure what the intention was here. Maybe originally this mech was designed for a different ninja, possibly either Jay or Nia. I'm kind of thinking more so Nia because of the lighter blue being used here. Then again, this is mainly the traditional J blue, so I guess you can kind of see this as being maybe neon electric blue. I don't know. I could totally see this again being a J mech or a Nia mech, so I do wonder if at one point in time Ninjago Legends Monstrosity was going to follow either Jay or Nia. What if it was Jay at first, and instead of Kai traveling the land of monsters, it was instead Jay? Maybe this is a different version of Jay's Titan mech that got lost in the merge, and maybe that's why Jay lost his memories originally. No idea, but this is, again, kind of like a palette changed Fire Knight mech there. Here we have a few other concepts for the Fire Knight mech in terms of animation. Again, very interesting stuff here. What intrigues me most of all, though, are some of these alternate head designs down here, some of which do appear to be a little monstrous, maybe suggesting more in the Ninjago Legends Monstrosity storyline, like maybe the mech itself would have turned into a monster. Some very samurai-esque ones down here too. But these ones, again, look like monsters. Like this one here with the one eye, that looks awesome. I love that look. But yeah, just some other concepts for the Fire Knight mech here. This is more so in tune with what we saw in the final product. Speaking of products, here we have an early rendition of the Fire Knight mech set, and I do like how this one looks too. Originally going for a display that also included a dragon, it seems. You can kind of see the dragon wrapping around the entire base here. I do wonder if at one point in time, maybe Kai would have needed to team up with the Fire Knight mech and a fire dragon. That does very much look like a fire dragon. Very cool design. I hope they eventually develop this into something else, because that looks just awesome there. The mech itself looks okay. A lot of gray used here. Not the biggest fan of that color scheme choice. Also, the sword looks a little bulky, a little too much there. And in terms of the base, I can't really tell what's going on here. But again, very early prototype design, I would say. I love the idea of the dragon being included too. Maybe at one point in time, the two legend sets were going to be just one set, and later they decided to separate them. One for the mech, one for the dragon. Who's to say? I just really enjoy that dragon. It looks really awesome. The mech, not so much, but that dragon, absolutely. Here we have more concepts for the Fire Knight mech in terms of animation. We have some very awesome renditions of the mech up here, and down here, again, that's more so one of those monstrous designs. It looks creepy, it looks kind of mutated as well. Again, maybe the mech was originally supposed to be a monster at some point, or become a monster later in the storyline. Here we have another prototype for the Fire Knight mech. Again, more so with the blue design here. I think there's even one of the ninja in there too, possibly even Jay. So again, was Ninjago Legends Monstrosity supposed to be a J thing originally? Might make a video talking about that, or maybe J was kind of like a placeholder for the time being. But as you can see, we also have a dragon here that looks very similar to the Tournament Temple City dragon. So I wonder if that dragon was repurposed from this set to that set, or if it's just here as a placeholder. It's not the exact same dragon, but again, maybe it's just a modified version for a placeholder. I like the black, the blue, and the gold combo though. Very Samurai X inspired too, I must say. I also love the tree. It looks good. Again, same concept, mech with a lance or a spear, whatever you want to call it. But again, in terms of color scheme, not necessarily for Kai from what we can see. Here we have more show concept art for the Monstrosity show itself, featuring the Guardian Dragon, looking very similar to how she appears in the final product for Ninjago Legends Monstrosity. This one down here is a little bit different, but still relatively similar in terms of the ideas. And lastly, here we have some concept art of Kai from this series, and I will say these designs look pretty awesome. Again, similar to what we see in the final product, this one up here is more so the final Kai design. You can kind of see the evolution. No cape, no hat, no mask, cape and mask, and then cape, hat, and mask there. The three evolutions of Monstrosity Kai. Looking awesome, I must say. I love the final design for Kai. It looks amazing. I just wish we could have gotten this design as an actual minifigure. That would have been so epic, but still just some Kai designs there. And even more Kai designs here to end on. Some of these have actually been used in official marketing for Ninjago Legends Monstrosity, like this one right here was used on an advertisement. A little bit more violent, I will say. This one up here kind of looks a little monstrous too. You could see that as being maybe teeth or just Kai's mask ripped up like you see here. Kind of looks like teeth from the side though, but still very dangerous looking Kai. I love how decrepit he looks here. That just looks, everything here just looks fantastic. So with that being said, everyone, that's going to pretty much do it for my thoughts on the Ninjago Legends Monstrosity concept art. Very cool stuff all around, but I do have a lot of questions. Again, was Ninjago Legends Monstrosity supposed to be a J thing at first? Why are a lot of the Fire Knight mech concepts blue? Who's to say? But I will be discussing more about that in an upcoming video. But until then, leave all of your thoughts down below in the comments surrounding the concept art featured in today's video. Again, all of this comes courtesy of Brickworld Chicago, and hopefully you enjoyed listening to my thoughts on these several pieces of concept art. Leave all of your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. That'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.